Hola, beautiful people. I told you I would be back. And today we are going to do the financial forecast for the month of April. And I know that many people are looking in their bank books and having a little bit of a discouraged feeling, and that's understandable. It's been a crazy first season for 2025 coming in from that the winter solstice into that spring equinox. And so, yeah, it was a stressful time for many people. And so it's important that we kind of take that moment and see what the energy looks like. What do we need to focus on? Where do we need to start? Because if you're financially overwhelmed, you're probably in a state of what I would call a quasi panic. So we're going to do this in a two pile reading. So I'm going to choose pile A or pile B. So let's start with pile A. So this is pile A. So if you chose pile A, and let me do this, and there's pile B. Okay, so pile A, does that resonate with you? Or pile B, does that resonate with you? Kind of like pile A is a little bit what I would call the Felix Unger. Yeah, Felix Unger. Remember that odd couple? Very, very prim and proper. That's how I'm feeling with this deck A. And so we're using the career and finances deck. I wanted to get an insight, because I know that some people have been laid off from their work and they're looking for direction. Other people are maybe looking for work, and so they're looking for direction. So this is that pile A, and speak to us. Let us know. Okay, there's one. Let us know what we need to look at. So, my affirmations for the month of April when it comes to the finance. Have been I am wealthy. Okay, I guess there's just only 1, 2. Okay, now we got some more. And I am financially free. I like that. I was listening to a Neville Goddard audiobook, and he used the term financially free. Okay, so I've got a handful of cards, and this is for pile A, and this is that financial forecast for the month of April. Pile A. So if you chose pile A, let's rock and roll, because I'm pretty surprised in a good way. So the first one that we're looking at here is the progress card. And whoops, that's me. And let me just bring it up a little bit here. Progress. And so it seems like a long slog. I like that. But you are getting to a place of where you need to be. You are getting to a place of where you need to be. Now, part of the problem, or part of the obstacle, is that the network connection. So you've kind of fallen out of a network connection, and it's important for you to start connecting with other people like-minded people, people that you want to work with, that you want to be with, that you want to be like. So it's like if you wanted to get into a new industry or a new line of work, then you would probably start connecting or networking within that new industry. And what I find to be very hopeful on this is our help card. I don't know why that went fuzzy. And the help card, if you look at it, is the locked card, but it's upside down. So what I'm looking at in that is that as you're developing new contacts and a new network, the awesome part of that, the beautiful part of that is that you are not bound or, constricted in a particular area or a particular, and I keep getting like a cage or a box. You don't have to stay where you are. You can start connecting to branch out, and that's what this deck is talking about. So if you chose deck A, this is what we're looking at, and it's talking about making new connections, thinking outside the box, being outside the box. I'm not at a loss for words. I was looking at that very first card of this. Where is this all leading to? And what we have on here is journey. And I'm going to say that there's a lot of things that are right in front of you, and maybe you're ignoring them. You're not taking advantage of them, and that's as in taking advantage of an opportunity, not a person. But a lot of this is right there in front of you, and again, you're not taking advantage of it, or you haven't been taking advantage of it. And now is a perfect opportunity to start thinking outside the box and connecting with what I'm going to call people that you want to be like-minded with. People that you want to be like-minded with. Now, here's your obstacle on that one is strategy. So, this is saying, it's kind of like you're up in the air. You really haven't sat down and thought about it. And this is saying that you need to really look at where you want to go and what you want to do with that, because strategy is going to be a big part of the whole picture for the month of April. How are you going to get from point A to point B? So I'm going to say it like this. If you're wanting to connect into a new line of work, then you probably should look up on the internet and find groups that are associated with that line of work and start connecting in with them. They often they'll give you advice and direction on where to start. And that is kind of important because you can go on an internet website, and the internet website is always going to tell you all of the wonderful pros of it, but they're not going to tell you the realistic cons. For instance, when I was going into insurance this time last year, they didn't tell me all of the cons. They just told me all of the good things. And even though people were telling me the cons, I didn't pay attention to them. So I ended up not doing very well in the insurance field through that. So it's important for you to start networking in that where you want to be, where you want to have your end result, and getting the real truth about what to expect in that particular industry or that particular work. Now, the last card in deck A, I'm kind of giggling with because, I'm always kind of saying, you need to kind of look for signs. And in this, it's saying, guess what? There's probably not going to be any signs. This is going to be something that is totally internal that you have to inspect. You have to inspect and you have to investigate from the inside out. What is it that really makes you happy that you want to embark on, that you want to bring in as your way of creating your living, or the way that you make money, the way that you create your financial freedom? You've been looking for somebody to tell you And the answer is within. You have to talk to self. You have to connect in with your higher self and find out and determine what you really want to embark on, because April is going to be bringing in change. And this is a time for examining who you are, where you want to be with your career and finances, as you've been kind of playing it up in the air. So now this is, whoops, stack B, and I guess that first card is what we want to roll with, but this is stack B, and let's take a look at stack B. Stack B was a little bit more, kind of looked like it was, a card here and a card there sticking out at that time. And I was thinking of the Odd Couple, where you had Felix Unger and Oscar Madison, and Felix was really prim and proper and wanted to do things exactly by the rule. And then Oscar Madison, he was the sports writer, and so he, kind of was cluttered and sometimes looked a little disarrayed, but always seemingly was making his magic happen. And so he's that's the energy here in deck, or in pile B. A little bit disarrayed, however, always working to make things happen. And we had one card that kind of flipped out at the very beginning, and so that's going to be the opening card. And let's just see. Okay, there's one. Let's see what else they add to the mix. And again, this is my career and finance deck. I use this when we want to examine our work, our career. Are we on the right path? Are we doing what we should be doing? Is it a good choice? Are we in a good place? All those kind of questions that we can work with in this deck. And all right, tell us about the month of April. We've got three or four cards over there. And okay. She went flying out. And is there anything else to add? And I'm getting the big no on that. So we've got a handful of cards. Let's rock and roll with that. Okay. Oh, how funny. Okay, so on this pile B, remember this is the one that was a little disarrayed, and I call the Oscar Madison, and very didn't expect this. So it says that we're in a stagnant spot in the month of April. We're starting out in a stagnant spot. So we're kind of what I'm going to call spinning wheels, not going anywhere in particular, kind of at a standstill. So it's, the word I kind of get is suffocating. Now here, the people skills is playing a role as the obstacle. And what I'm saying here, when I'm looking at it, what I'm seeing, and you notice that there's some glasses right there, what I'm seeing is that maybe our people skills haven't been the best. And I'm getting a feeling like we have shined, not shined, we've shined people away from us. And that's been a struggle for you, and that it's coming to a place where you're going to have to, when I'm looking at those glasses, you're going to have to kind of evaluate and take that into accountability. There are things that you haven't shined on. In fact, it's pushed you away from a lot of potential things. And I'm going to call this almost a rude awakening. And I'm not meaning that in a yucky way. I'm meaning that in a beautiful way. I'm meaning that it's Mother Nature's way of coming in and saying that you need to kind of focus on what your original mission is as a human. Because whatever you have been working on, it has not been beneficial. And now that you are given insight into it, you have the ability to change the way that things have been flowing. And so, what we're looking at in here is that when you start making that change, that it will be a change of success. I'm taking accountability and responsibility for some of your faux pas will actually be very successful. And then I'm just going to say that all of those issues that you have been stressed out about money, they're no longer an issue. We'll see that money matters is in the obstacle, but it's upside down. And I'm getting the feeling, when it's here next to the success, that the money issues, the money problems are going to dissolve. They're resolve. They're not going to be pertinent or on the front line. And then the card that ends it here is fast changes. So I'm going to say that things are going to be moving very, very quickly. For your financial freedom, for you to have some financial stability and stability of where you are in your workplace. March was a month of rude awakening. And now that you've been awakened to that, there are a couple of things that you personally need to work on, especially in your people skills. And once you start working on those and rectifying, resolving, resolving, whatever, an alving of it is, that things will fall back into balance and it's fast changes. And you notice that it's a bunny rabbit there. And so that I get the feeling like your money's going to multiply. You're really going to be over that hump because you've come to that rude awakening that there's some shit you need to take care of. That's just the blunt way to put it. And let's go take care of business. So I hope you enjoyed April's financial forecast. Please give it a heart. Comment something where you're watching from. Do you have any financial goals for the month of April? And don't forget to share. Peace, love, and harmony. I will see you soon.